Good morning, students. Myself, Priti Kashyap from the Aadhar College of Engineering and IT. Today, we are going to learning about basic of induction motor. First of all, we discussed about the AC motor because induction motor is a type of AC motor. AC motor is basically operate on alternating current and convert the electric energy into the mechanical energy. The two important parts of AC motor, first is starter and second is rotor. Starter. It is a stationary part of AC motor and rotor is the rotating part of the motor. In the motor, the starter is separate from the starter by a small air gap. AC motor divided into the two types, synchronous motor and induction motor, and induction motor is further divided in the two types, single phase and three phase, according to the power supply applied on the devices. Synchronous motor is not self-excited motor, whereas induction motor is a self-excited motor, and induction motor control is possible and synchronous motor speed control is not possible. In the unit 5 of motor control, we learn about the induction motor speed control. So let's discuss about the basic of induction motor. Three-phase induction motor. In your course, three-phase induction motor speed control is included. So we here only discuss about the three-phase induction motor. Three-phase induction motor are the most common and frequently encountered machine in the industry. They do not require a starting device, hence it is a self-excited motor. And induction motor work on a transforming action. Transforming action means it is a work as a transformer. In the transformer, two types of windings, primary windings and the secondary winding. But in the induction motor, voltage applied to the starter winding and produce a induced voltage in rotor winding. But difference is that in the case of induction motor, the secondary winding can move. But in the transformer, both windings are stationary. But in the induction motor, the rotor winding is rotate. Due to the rotation of rotor, the induced voltage in it does not have the same frequency of starter voltage. Second thing, due to this reason, both frequencies are not same in the starter windings and the rotor windings. It is also known as asynchronous motor. In induction motor or asynchronous motor is a AC electric motor in which the electric current in the rotor needed to produce torque is obtained by electromagnetic induction from the magnetic field of the starter windings, and induction motor can therefore be made without electrical connection to the router. Means we have only applied the supply on the starter. No voltage is applied on the router. In three-phase induction motor, when the supply is connected to the starter of three-phase induction motor, a rotation magnetic field is produced and the rotor starts rotating and the induction motor start rotate. At the time of starting, the motor slip is unity and the starting current is very large. In three-phase induction motor are two types according to router winding construction. Means how to design the router winding construction. It is a divided in two types: squirrel cage and slip ring. Slip ring also known as wound rotor type. Now we see in the diagram, this is the cross view diagram of three-phase induction motor, and this is the two types windings, that is the armature, basically the router windings structure. So let me explain here. In the frame, first of all, what is a frame in this? The frame provides mechanical support to starter and rotor, and it is made from the casting material. Starter, that is the starter. Starter is the stationary part of induction motor. It is consists of starter windings. It is housed on motor frame, and arrangement of the starter three-phase induction motor is given by delta connection or by the star connection. Now rotor is the rotating part of the motor and is housed on the shaft of induction motor, and it has a two end. One is driving end, another is non-driving end. The non-driving end is connected to cooling fan, and driving end is connected to mechanical load. Both the ends are connected with the bearing for the free rotation means of reduced friction losses. Now, as we already discussed, their outer windings is divided in two types on the short circuit of the both the end of and edges. The two types of windings is there: squirrel cage and rotor, and the wound rotor. In squirrel cage induction motor, most of the application of industry, as we have it domestic, we use this types of induction motor. It is the construction is simple and cheap, and maintenance is very easy. It is used in the lathe machine, compressor, and pump in agriculture. And wound rotor, it is used very high torque to start the working as compared to squirrel cage, and construction is complicated as compared to squirrel cage rotor windings. Maintenance cost is high, and it is application is used in lift, crane, where it is used this types of motor. In the squirrel cage motor, you can see that the conducting bar lands into the slot and shorted at the both end by the shorting rings. And in the wound router, complete set of three-phase winding exactly as the starter, and usually by connected the end of three rotor wire are connected to the three slip plates on the rotor shaft. In this way, rotor circuit is accessible. Now, next, the basic of three-phase induction motor. And when the three-phase supply is connected to three-phase starter windings and rotating middle field is rotated, this is the basic principle of induction motor. Now, the speed of induction motor, the speed of rotating field is called the synchronous speed, and this is calculated by this formula, that is the synchronous speed is equal to 120 F1 upon P, where F1 is the supply frequency, and we can also write in the rotation per second, and omega as is the angular speed, we can say that, and this is equal to 2 omega 1 upon t, where the omega is calculated in the radian per second and frequency is calculated in the hertz. In the induction motor, at approximately constant speed from no load to full load, and speed is less than synchronous speed. and its operation of principle is based on the rotating magnetic field. Now, router cannot attain synchronous speed. It must be run at the speed of nr less than the ns, where nr is the router speed and ns is the rotating field speed. So then if we want to calculate the speed of the rotor, that is equal to nr is equal to ns 1 minus s, where the s is the slip, and slip is basically difference between the synchronous speed to router speed. So you by this formula we can calculate the speed of motor and slip in the motor. Now the analysis and performance of the three-phase induction motor. For analysis of and calculate the performance parameter of induction motor, uh, we consider the equivalent circuit of three-phase induction motor. Refer to starter. You can see in this diagram there is the connection, that is the starter winding connection, and this is the in the form of delta. Sorry, star connection, in the form of star connection. In this circuit, you can see that the R1 is the rotor resistance 1, and R2 is the rotor resistance referred to starter, X2 is the rotor leakage reference referred to starter, R1 is the X1 is the starter leakage impedance, Xm is the magnetic reactance, V1 is the terminal voltage, I1 is the starter current, and I2 is the rotor current. Now from the figure B, by using this figure, if we calculate the I2, then we apply the KCL and we calculate by this formula. We find this rotor current I2 is equal to V1, by simplify this form, V1 upon R1 plus R2 upon S plus J X1 plus X2. This term is shown, that is the imaginary term. Now air gap power. Air gap power means here the power transform from starter to rotor through the air gap. As we already discussed, the rotor is separate from the starter by the small gap. So in the small gap, we calculate the power in the form of air gap power is by the PG. The PG is the air gap power is equal to 3 I2 square, it means rotor current square, is multiplied with R2 upon S. R2 is the rotor resistance. Rotor ohmic losses is equal to 3 I square R2, that is the three phase, that's why we multiply with 3, and developed power in the rotor is equal to the air gap power minus the rotor ohmic losses. We calculate the power delivered into the rotor, that is equal to both the forms of this PG and rotor ohmic losses is put here, and we find the equation of developed power in the rotor. Next is developed rotor torque is equal to the developed power in the rotor upon the omega m, that is the omega m is the uh, omega m is the rotor speed in radian per second. Now we put the omega m value from this equations, and omega m by putting by this equation, omega m is equal to omega s 1 minus s in this equations, and when we simplify that, we find that 3 omega s I2 square R2 by s, that is the developed rotor torque. And in other words, we also, if we put this value PG is rectified, we can also say TE is the developed rotor torque is equal to rotor ohmic losses, the air gap power upon the air gap power upon the speed of synchronous speed. Now substituting the value of I2 from the equation 3 in this equation, T is here. Then we simplify it, we get this equation number 8 form, and motor power input is equal to P is equal to the air gap power plus starter core losses plus starter copper loss. Output or shaft power is equal to the developed power in the rotor minus fixed loss. Fixed loss basically the friction and windage losses. Motor efficiency we can calculate by output power upon the motor input power, and output torque if we want to calculate, then this is equal to the output power upon the speed. Then we put the equation of rotor speed, slip at with the maximum torque occur is given by Sm. When we simplify the equations, R2 by R1 is square root 3 is given by this equations. Now when we substituting the Sm from equation number 8, we can get the maximum torque equations, and this equations is also known as pull out and breakdown torque is independent of rotor resistance. And rotor resistance, it means in this equation there is no terms of our R2 is the rotor resistance, and this is Sm is directly proportional to the rotor resistance, because Sm is directly proportional to the rotor resistance. Now in case of rotor resistance, R1 is neglected, then slip of torque are given as in the equations of Sm. We put the R1 is equal to negligible, then we simplified equations number 10 and equation number 11, putting the value R1 neglect, then we find this equations. And now we can, if we calculate the ratio of developed torque upon the maximum torque, we find this equation. Here we put the value of S and Sm and further simplify this equation, then we find the motor speed omega m is equal to rotor speed 1 minus Sm Te upon 2 Tem, and we put the value of Sm from the equation number 12, then we find this equation. This expression shows that the drop in speed from the no load to full load depend on the rotor resistance. Now this diagram is show the speed torque characteristic of three-phase induction motor, as in the equation number 10, that is the three-phase induction motor is energized from the fixed voltage at the constant frequency. Motor torque is a function of slip. For different value of slip, the speed torque characteristic of three-phase induction motor is plotted here. In this diagram, you can see that in the monitoring mode under the normal running condition, it means the slip S is less than the maximum slip, as the starter current is not high. This is show the starter current. Starter current is not high, and the torque increase with the increase in slip from 0 to Sm. You can see here the value of Sm in the speed, the torque is increased from 0 to here maximum value. After maximum Tm, when we get the value of maximum torque at the slip Sm, as the slip increases, as we increase the slip here, the starter current rise. The starter current is started to rise here much more than the rated current, and the air gap flux is decreased, and therefore torque decrease with as increase in